Hey guys, happy Friday!
Geeks of the Week!
Steph had food poisoning on Monday, but we hung out on Tuesday and watched shitty animes, so hopefully she'll be back to fully Steph mode on Monday. Jake and Lulu both talked about the new Five Nights at Freddy's, and I was never really interested in watching those because they just looked kind of creepy and frustrating, but I did end up watching yours, Jake, and I watched all of the Markiplier ones, and I will say they were hilarious. And Mario, last week you talked about that gritty Power Rangers fan video, and I watched it, and it's awesome. I think it's kind of ridiculous that the Power Rangers people are trying to get it taken down and whatnot. I don't think anything will come of it, because there are so many fan videos out there of just everything, and I don't know, it's just ridiculous. Alright, so I have like 4 little news things I'm excited to talk about, and then I'll tell you a little bit about SuperToyCon. First off, of course, the Age of Ultron trailer. The new one looked awesome, of course, and we got a few like sarcastic comments from all of the team members except for Hawkeye, who is perpetually the Legolas of the group on so many levels. We got to see a little bit more of Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, and apparently they're gonna be pitted against the Avengers, so that'll be interesting, at least in the beginning. I'm not sure how it'll play out in the end, obviously, but that'll definitely be fun. And Black Widow finally got her own poster and a new suit update. At first I wasn't really sure about the Tronish look of it, but I think it's growing on me, and I'm really curious about the glowy stick weapons that we saw very briefly in the trailer. In DC news, photos of the official Supergirl costume were finally just unveiled today. I really like the details and the texture that's in the fabric, but I don't know, the skirt looks a little weird to me. I'm not entirely sure why, probably because I'm just used to something a bit more flowy. It'll probably look fine in action and I'll get used to it. Though with the shadowing in the picture, I'm not really sure if the boots have heels or not. I'm kind of hoping they don't, just for practicality, but I guess with a flying character it doesn't matter as much. I don't know. We'll see. What do you guys think about it? Like it? Don't like it? Just not what you were expecting, but it's okay? In other movie news, there's been a poster circulating my Facebook with Hocus Pocus 2. The sequel's been rumored for a while lately, and it's been craved forever, but I still haven't found anything solidly saying that it's going to happen. I don't know if I ever talked about it on here, but Hocus Pocus is like my absolute favorite Halloween movie. It's the only one I have to watch every year, and I've always wanted a sequel, but at the same time, I kind of thought it was perfectly perfect on its own, so I am both excited about the possibility of a sequel and worried. If the original cast is involved, at least the Sanderson sisters, I'm all over it, but my only hope beyond that is that they make it a legitimate movie and not a Disney Channel movie. I really don't want the Disney Channel level of cheese and overacting dictating it. Yeah, it's a fun movie with some silly moments, but I've always thought it was a much higher level than a Disney Channel film. And then hopping into the literary world, sorry I'm all over the place this week, there were just so many things I was excited to talk about, but do you guys, well, for those of you who have been with us for a while, do you remember the book I reviewed like over a year ago, Ready Player One? I was completely in love with it, and the author, Ernest Cline, is releasing a new book in July that I only just heard about last week, and I'm not entirely sure how that happened. It'll be called Armada, and it's going to be another video game-based story, but this time, instead of the story taking place in the virtual world, the virtual world is actually going to be bringing its dangers into reality. Ready Player One was one of the best books I read in recent years. Ernest Cline's writing is fantastic, and this one sounds like it has the potential to be just as good, and I'm so excited. And apparently Loot Crate had copies of it in a recent crate of theirs, so a whole group of new people have been exposed to it, and that's freaking fantastic. If you haven't read it yet, you definitely should. I'll put links below to the sections of the 2 videos that I talked about it in. One was like a synopsis before I really got into it, and then an actual review, so I don't ramble about it in yet a 3rd video. Alright, and I want to talk a little bit about SuperToyCon because it was a very different experience from like comic and anime conventions. It was very small, but it had so many amazing things to look at. You saw the car in the background in my video from last week, and they also had a DeLorean, a Blues Brothers car, and one other that I didn't actually recognize, but it was also cool. Beyond that, because it was basically a convention for toy collectors, they had so many older classic toys to look at. It was really cool just walking around the floor and just so many things. One guy had one of those 1980s mini arcade Frogger machines, and I wanted it so badly because that was something that I played with all of the time when I visited my grandparents when I was younger, and I don't know what happened to it, but I sadly couldn't really afford what he was asking for it. But one day... Anyway, it was their first year bringing in a cosplay aspect, probably in an attempt to bring in a younger crowd, which is totally cool. And they had a cosplay contest, which I decided to enter with Soraka. It was my first time ever doing something like that by myself, but Steph and Mel were two of the judges, so it was slightly less stressful than just going in front of a panel full of complete strangers. Still nerve-wracking, and I'm pretty sure I failed utterly at posing on the stage because I was like half nervous and not knowing what to do and half just concentrating on not falling over in the hooves, which I updated from Fanime, and I'm so happy with them, and I had to show you guys because like I did like legitimate hooves this time instead of just crappy paper mache. And the fur is soft and glorious. I actually ended up winning 3rd place, so that was really awesome. Overall, there wasn't a whole lot to do other than look at all of the amazing things that people were selling, but getting to hang with Steph and Mel and my friend Dallas and just doing stupid shit in a casino, including buying a guitar that played music and lit up that we could fill with the alcohols, and convincing Steph to get on a roller coaster, which was hilarious. It ended up being a really, really fun weekend. Okay, I feel like this is gonna be really long, so I'm gonna stop rambling there, and I hope everyone has an awesome weekend, stay geeky, and we will see you next week. Bye!